and thank you, Brad, for inviting me to read an extract from my recently published novella, Immortelle, which came out with Off Limits Press in July. Immortelle is essentially a ghost story set on the West Wales coast around the turn of the 20th century. The main character is a ceramic artist named Eleanor. She's a single parent who comes to live in Wales following the death of her grandmother, who I refer to as Mamgi in the extract. Mamgi is Welsh for grandmother. Her Mamgi dabbled in witchcraft, the kind of witchcraft associated with nature. For those who don't know what an immortelle is, I'll give you a bit of background. An immortelle is a grave ornament intended as a permanent memorial to the dead. During Victorian times, they became quite popular and consisted of things such as ceramic flowers and birds, which were arranged on a base and then placed inside a glass dome before being put on a grave. However, Victorian immortelles weren't personalised, and that's where this story differs. When Eleanor's daughter Rowena dies, Eleanor crafts a personalised immortelle, one that includes snowdrops with tiny bells in place of stamen, so that Rowena may call to her from the grave, and a young starling said to be able to carry the voice of the dead. The extract I've chosen to read takes place the night before Rowena's funeral. Picture the scene. Rowena's body lies at rest within the cottage, and Eleanor, with the help of her Mamgi's notes and drawings, is intent on performing a ritual that she hopes will entice Rowena's spirit to leave her body and enter the immortelle. Despite the frosty air, the sitting room window is open, for I need to be able to hear the church clock toll midnight. It is written that such acts of alchemy are at their most powerful during the witching hour. No one will come now. It is just me and my child, together for the last time. Tomorrow's farewell will be a public one. Tonight belongs to us alone. My face is pressed to the window. It cools the throbbing ache in my forehead. With all mirrors in the cottage covered, this is the first time I have seen my reflection since Rowena's accident. It is not a pretty sight. My complexion resembles a ghoul, dark circles for eyes, and my hair has greyed. I trace the fresh scar above my brow, a permanent reminder of how I collapsed on hearing the news. The eye below is purpled with bruising and still partly closed. The bruising to my forehead has faded to a patch of sickly green. The new scar lies parallel to the old one, the one Rowena's father gave me, and is about the same length but an inch lower. The sitting room door is reflected behind me, and a mark thereon demands my attention. Two parallel lines, just like my scars. But the lines on the door frame demarcate how much Rowena grew last year. Do you remember, Rowena, how you inched your way up the frame with each birthday? You would stretch on tippy toes, desperate to grow up, and I would laugh and tell you to stop cheating. There will be no new marks. She will always remain the same height. Such things rub salt in the wounds. The church clock strikes 12, its first chime startling me out of my reverie. No more maudlin thoughts. It is time for action. Once this ceremony is performed, I will say my final farewell and will never see her face again. I will close the lid on her coffin, and it will break my heart once more. But if the spell works, then it will compensate a fraction. If Father Kendrick could see me now, he would have me condemned to a lunatic asylum. But the thought causes me no remorse. What does he know? What do any of them know? Are they any wiser because they believe they have the backing of a God? I think not. I have more faith in Mamgie's wisdom, and I shall put my trust in her, for she could always be depended on. I light the candles, revelling in the warm glow which dances in the breeze. Inanimate things, the curtains, the drapes on Rowena's coffin, even her shroud is animated with shadows, so it is not difficult to imagine the spell working. It fills me with hope. The shadow from the lantern flickers on the wall behind her head, hugely disproportionate in size to how it is in reality. In this room, miracles are already happening. Mother Moon has come to assist me. Her full face beams down on us. She casts a blue-tinted hue at the window, stretches long fingers of moonbeam towards Rowena's face, causing her skin to shine silver. Dark lashes do not flutter, nor does her chest rise and fall, but I know she is there. Even now her beauty steals my breath. You can have it, Rowena. It is yours. I would exchange my life for yours in a heartbeat. She lies with her face pointing east, for that is where the sun rises. To my right sits a small pewter dish of wine, blended with oil of rosemary and 6 ground nuggets from the mastic tree, in precise accordance with Mamgie's notes, which lie propped against the foot of the coffin. I have read the instructions over and over these past days, but cannot afford to make a mistake. My hands tremble and my teeth chatter as I set light to the concoction. The cold or anxiety. I place my lips to Rowena's, a kiss as light as a feather, then take a deep breath and begin the incantation. I command your spirit to do as I say. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit. I am spirit and I flow in you. You are spirit and you flow in me. A sprinkle of soil upon her fingers, another amongst the snowdrops. A young starling awaits your breath. It longs for your voice to give it song. Come, Rowena, into the garden. See how it awaits your spirit. 3 starling feathers I place on her chest, 6 pure white snowdrops at her feet. I command your spirit to do as I say. The air in the room changes, stills. Even the wind outside has ceased howling. Shadows halt their dance and wait with bated breath for what might happen next. I pray in silence to all the gods, those I have no faith in, and the gods of the earth which I do. Inside the Immortelle, the wing of the starling flutters, an iridescent shimmer of purple and green. The bird blinks, just once, and the snowdrop in the centre rings its tiny bell. Tinkle, tinkle, soft as raindrops on metal. I hold my breath and place the glass dome on top of its base. For a fraction of a second, the smallest cloud of condensation appears inside the glass. It evaporates before I can take a breath of my own. Did I imagine it? My face burns hot despite the cold, and Mother Moon comforts a stray tear with her lopsided grin. I gaze at Rowena's body one last time, drink in the memory of all that she is, as thirsty as the desert, before closing the lid of the coffin. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy the book.